All week long and into next week, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest events in the state, especially here in the South Sound. It's Oysterfest, and the 37th annual Oysterfest is next weekend, the 6th and 7th. One of the big things and big draws are the...
My first time, too.
Oh,
you're going to go to the Oysterfest.
You're going to have an awesome time.
You're going to have a great time, Vicki. Bert Fisher and Jim Morrell are in here today to talk with us about the beer and wine that will be at Oysterfest. And as usual, guys... You got the tough duties here, having to decide on all these beers and wines. There are just so many across the state and the country. Let's start, Bert, with you and the beers. How many are going to be there? What's the range of distance travel and things like that?
Oh my gosh, we're going to have probably 40 to 45 different breweries are going to be present there. We'll be running 5 trailers with 8 to 10 taps per trailer, and we will have beer out of Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, and Hawaii.
Wow.
So how many kegs show up to Oysterfest?
Oh,
Is there
man,
going to be enough?
we'll probably inventory close to 175, 200 kegs of beer.
Mercy.
That is amazing. And it's going on Saturday and Sunday, also Friday night with the Oyster Funk people.
With the Shelton Club.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. And in the beer area, they got the big stage, and there's always the big musical acts that are performing.
Yep.
How does this work for folks? You go in, if I remember correctly from years past, you're able to go in and stop by these kind of ID booths and get your band, so you don't have to worry about it the whole rest of the time you're there.
Right. Actually, what you need to do is right outside the entrance to the beer garden will be an ID check station.
Okay.
So you'll get your over 21 band there, and only over 21's allowed in there. Can't have any kids in there.
That's good.
No children, none of that stuff. And then you will come in, and then right to the right as you come in the entrance, there'll be a ticket booth because all the beer sold off of tickets.
Okay.
Rather than trying to take the cash up there when we're
that's
pouring the
good.
beer. So it's just it smooths the process.
Yeah.
So they'll do that, and then you can come over and over to the left will be the big beer tent. One of the things we're doing a little differently this year, which we haven't done, we're going to give it a shot, is we're going to have some 2 food vendors are going to double serve on the inside of the beer garden and on the outside of the beer garden.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that works too. So every year we try to do something a little bit different.
That makes a lot of sense. You see a lot of folks in there, and they may be drinking, and they don't want to set their cup down and leave the beer area, then come back in. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's some of the feedback we have. Beer tickets are $6. The glasses are $6. Open at 10 o'clock. Last call's at 5:30 on Saturday, and then 10 o'clock on Sunday, and last call's at 4:30.
Oh, very nice. You got to figure it out. Jim, wines. Walter Dakin has been pronounced the Oysterfest label this year. They have a red and a white. Tell me about this.
Yep, super excited to have one of our Mason County wineries represented and highlighted as the Oysterfest label. Walter Dakin's been coming to Oysterfest for many, many years, and so we're excited to feature them and highlight them. One of our own.
Yeah. How does that go about? I was talking a little bit about this with Heidi, who's working, of course, with you guys in Skookum Rotary, getting things out there. It's based on last year's kind of overall experience from the customers?
Right, yeah. Last year's sales, actually the last several years' sales, and we can only have one Oysterfest label each year.
Yeah.
So we make sure that the same winery doesn't repeat within a certain number of years. And Walter Dakin's been asked in the past and politely said, we'd like to offer that to somebody else. And this year they said absolutely we'd be excited to do that.
Very cool. 19 total wineries. What's the variety? They're all from Washington.
All 19 are from Washington. We've got 4 that have a presence here in Mason County, in addition to Walter Dakin, Mosquito Fleet from up in Belfair, Hoodsport, and Stottle Winery has a tasting room in Hoodsport as well.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. We also have one new winery this year that's joining us. Port Townsend Cellars is coming down to the festival for the first time.
Very cool.
Very nice.
And it's not like there's 19 wines. There is a bunch of wines that they all bring, right?
We have around about 75 different wines, just over 3,400 bottles of wine that will arrive on Friday and Saturday morning before the event opens.
That's a lot of wine.
That's a lot of wine.
How long have you
Yes,
guys
it
been
is.
doing this? Beer and wine, or just Oysterfest in general? The whole time?
37. This is 30.
This
there's
is
37.
37th.
This is
Oh,
the
how about you guys
37th year.
specifically?
Oh, me?
been here?
I've been here 6 years, and I think I got roped into it
For sure.
couple months after I arrived.
Yeah, that's right.
Kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I'm around that much
You
wine.
always-
I
you
don't
always
think to scream
grab-
too much.
You always grab the naive one.
Jim will do it for sure. Bert, you've been doing this the
I've
whole
been
time?
doing this for probably 12 years, and then I took over totally running it probably 8 or 9 years ago. for
Has the wine
microbrews.
and beer been such a prominent portion of Oysterfest traditionally? I know it's evolved into quite a destination for folks, but has it always had kind of that? I mean, you got a million wineries and a million breweries coming. This is a destination now for these folks too to show off their stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, we have some people that come year after year. There's one group of ladies that show up at one of our center tables, and they just sort of make camp. They bring in their own meat and cheese, and have spent a couple hours there. So,
Nice.
and other people for the first time, they're like,
I'm
"Wow,
gonna
this
look
is."
for those ladies.
Yeah, you should find them.
I know, right?
And some people filter over from the beer garden and say, "Wow, this is kind of a nice, quiet place to enjoy some of our wine."
Beer garden's quiet. Beer garden's quiet.
So the other thing too is there is tastings. How does that work for?
So we sell tickets for $1 each ticket, and then the wine tastings are either $2, $3, or $4, depending upon what the value of that wine is.
Okay.
So most of the wines are $3 for a tasting. We also have souvenir glasses for people to purchase for $5, so they can
Oh,
feel
nice.
feel right when they're drinking the wine.
Sure. Stemless glasses, all the like.
Not out
That's
of
right.
a styrofoam cup.
Exactly.
You want that
That's
glass
right.
of wine.
Yeah.
Get the
definitely.
floral notes out of styrofoam.
Right.
That's a lot of fun, and people come in. Talk to me a little bit about how this works too with the acoustic stage and,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
music for the wines. Is that going to be in that same general area?
In the same general area, it's actually different tents so that we can have, we do get a little bit rowdy on the wine. Bert doesn't believe that, but we have
You
that
guys.
stage next door to us so people can enjoy the music, and some of that filters over into our venue as well.
Cool. Oysterfest is next weekend, the 6th and the 7th at the Port of Shelton on the inactive runway there. 10 o'clock start both days. You're not going to want to miss it. It's always a heck of a lot of fun. Bert, Jim, it's always fun seeing you guys and talking with you. I'll be up there next week to see how the progress is coming along.
Oh,
You're always
definitely
welcome,
be
Jeff. Yeah.
That's
Very
right.
cool.
Vicky, I put you in charge of weather.
Oh, nice.
Vicky's in
Okay,
charge of
good.
the weather. Things looking good for us.
It's going to be fine.
Going to be a nice
It's going to be
weekend.
beautiful out there.